Live shots at Tree Plaza Hotel and Spa. TJ, this heat is nice.
Yeah, it feels good out here.
I like your stretching too, by the way.
Like my game face?
She's got the game face on because Allison Ty is here. And I saw you guys talking about lunges right before the break. What are the common mistakes as we talk about injury prevention that are made when it comes to lunges?
So a big one, obviously, is people stepping a little bit too narrow, and then they think they don't have balance, but it's just because they're not stepping under your hip. So you want to step under your hip and put that weight in your front heel, and then you want to align everything. So whenever anybody thinks of a core exercise, they're always thinking crunches, sit-ups, planks, but your core should always be working when you're doing a lunge or a squat or anything, right? So the core is meant to be integrated. So if you're doing a lunge like this, yeah, maybe you're working your legs, but you're not working your core. And you want to teach the core to be part of that whole chain and stabilize your body so you're preventing injuries when you go about moving.
I have a question. When I'm doing a lunge, I tend to have this real big desire to squish my bum forward because it feels really good. Is that a good move to do in a lunge, or should you leave your butt alone?
No, you absolutely should use your bum. So the bum is one of the biggest muscles in the human body, and it's one that's super underused because we're always sitting all day. You know, we're at spin class, we're in our car, we're at our desk, and so our bum doesn't get a lot of firing. So when you do anything, it's really important not only to engage the core, but really squeeze the bum and make sure that it's what's driving the movement.
Where should we feel the most tension in a good way for injury prevention in the lunge?
Well,
all of our bodies are different.
For sure in your core, but you want to be landing in that glute.
Yeah.
You know, you're going to be using the front of your thighs, but you really want to be focusing the movement on driving through your butt.
I'm going to do that butt squish technique that you threw out there.
Yes,
I felt
squish
like that
the
was
butt.
working. Yeah.
Like
So National Injury Prevention Day, what's some other moves that we can do to protect our bodies this summer?
Okay, so we see a lot of people that are underusing their back, and again, it's just we're sitting at a desk, we're texting, we're in this hunched position, and you don't want to get here, because if you're here, then you can't twist, you can't lift your arms, you can't do all these fun things that you want to go out and do when the weather's right, just like now. So the first one, we're just going to take our band like this, thumbs out. We're going to be working our back muscles. So you're going to get into this nice tall position, chest up, and then thumbs out to the side. You're just going to pull it back. Now this is a really, really easy way to just engage those back muscles and just work on your posture. And again, like with any of those moves like we discussed, I want your core to be super engaged, so pulling nice and wide and flat with your abs. And then almost like when you squish a balloon at the bottom, I want you to think about being super tall and super tight from those lower abs.
I've never seen these before at the gym. Do they have a name if somebody wants to go buy?
It's just an exercise band. So you can buy them. It doesn't have to look like this covered band. It could be any level, but you don't want one where you're like, and you're stuck here, right? You want to be able to get that full range, and you want to feel a little bit of burn in your shoulders.
What if the shoulders have already been injured? I did a lot of CrossFit with Greg Harper, injured the shoulder, so as I do that, I feel discomfort. What do you do as a protection if you've already injured them and want to avoid the re-injuring?
Well, another way that you can do is just take the intensity down. So if you get into this nice position here again, core is maintained all the time, right? So nice, tight core, and then you're just going to do little W's and pulse here, and generally that tends to work better for people just because there's less resistance. Does that feel better on you?
Feels a lot better,
again,
yeah.
you're in that exact same position, you're just taking the load down.
Okay. The monster walk.
The
I was
monster
telling you
walk.
about this.
So another
Yeah, I'm
huge thing
scared.
we see, especially with somebody running, hiking, that everything dives in as they get tired. And so we really want to teach the knees to come out because that's going to work these parts of our hips. So you can just double band it and then step into it. And you want it above your knees because we don't want to injure our knees doing a preventative injury exercise. Toes in, you want to sit down nice and low, chest up again with the core, and then you're just going to stomp to the side. Now we're not in Zumba class, okay? So you don't want to be dancing around. It's almost like you have a bowl of water on your head or you're trained on a track, and you're just going to be working side to side. Don't be afraid to stomp those feet.
It's like the T-Rex coming.
And eventually
Can you
you're going to feel that burning in the booty. Can we feel it?
It's burning. Is the booty burning? Do you
Is the
feel
booty
it?
burning?
I always wind up looking like a T-Rex when I do things like this.
Short arms.
All right, I feel that. You had a great last stretch for the
Yeah.
calf. That a common mistake people make.
So yeah, a lot of people do that one where they're stretching on the wall. That's great. We're working or we're stretching rather our upper calf here, but our lower calf needs a stretch. So there's another calf that doesn't cross the knee joint, so it works best if the knee is bent. And then you're basically just going to bring your knee down toward your toe. I'm not stretching this leg, it's all on this leg, and I'm just going to lean into it. It's called the thinker stretch, because if anybody has seen this famous pose here, exactly, Riaz, you do it too well. So, and we're going to feel this down here. A lot of people have foot problems. They start hiking a lot, and so they end up having the plantar fasciitis that burns in the morning, Achilles issues, and this is one that really takes care of that entire lower chain.
Hate to bring it back to my butt, but I can only feel this in my glutes right now. Thank you so much for all these great tips on how to keep our bodies safe. National Injury Prevention Day. Stay safe this summer. We'll have more Breakfast Television coming up in a few